All right, all right. We are just about to get into it. Welcome, everyone. We just got in. So hopefully, I believe that people are trying to log in. People are trying to get in. People are trying to get in generally. I'm just trying my best to see if I can have a look. If you're already in and you can hear me, can you just say something in the chats? If you're already in and you can hear me, kindly say something in the chat. Welcome, welcome everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm entirely excited to be here. Welcome everyone to this wonderful evening. If you're already in here, please let me know by just saying something in the chats so that I know you're in here, so that I know you can hear me. And if you can hear me already, welcome from wherever it is that you're connected from. Welcome. We're excited to have you this evening. We're excited to have you listen in on this conversation. We're excited to have you learn from this conversation. We're excited to have you have a change of heart concerning this conversation. We're excited. So I can see a hi. I can see a hi from Amy. Okay, lovely. Lovely to have you. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the Relationship Builders Forum. Welcome to the channel. It's about to be a very wonderful evening. If you can just let me know, you can hear me loud and clear. That is amazing. I'm excited to have you, Prince. Thank you very much for that. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. You can represent wherever you're coming from or wherever you're listening from. If we have people from outside of the UK, it would be amazing to know. If we have people from other parts of the world, if we have people from Africa, Nigeria, whatever country you're in, you can represent your country. Let us know you're with us. Let us know you can hear us because it's about to be an amazing evening. Now, every time I have listened in when it comes to the Relationship Builders Forum, I've never gone back the same. There's always a change, a positive change in my life. So you have not come here in vain. It's going to be a wonderful evening. I believe that you're going to learn a lot from it. I believe that you're going to grow a lot from it. So please stay tuned. Please participate, stay engaged. It's about to be a wonderful evening. And of course, my name is Lizzie Rose. I will be your host for the evening, and I'll be having this conversation with a very wonderful couple, an amazing couple. Now, this group, this couple I'm talking about, the whole time I have known them, they have been known to set the standard for marriage. In fact, every time I spend a few minutes with them, I feel like, oh God, I just need to get married at this point. Oh God, marriage just seems so amazing with this group of people. It just seems so beautiful with them. And of course, God has given them the grace as it has to do with marriage. He has entrusted them with a lot of knowledge and a lot of understanding, which they are going to disperse today. Michelle, we are happy to see you, and I'm happy that you are ready to listen. So we're just going to get right into it. Everyone, it's going to be a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to be talking about love, a lot of reasons about love, reasons why you should get married, a lot of conversations around love, around marriage and everything. And I believe that for the next few minutes we're going to be here, you're going to be blessed. Hello, Enyudia. I can see Prince. Hello. Lovely to have you join us. We're going to move very quickly. So before we proceed, I would like you to join me. Thank you so much, Misha. Thank you so much. I'd like you to join me. Welcome this very beautiful couple, this very amazing couple, this couple that has been blessed with the grace by God to talk about things concerning marriage, this couple that has been blessed with the grace to counsel loads and loads of couples. Please join me as we welcome Dr. Amarachi and Dr. Gospel Amaugo. Yay!
Wow.
You're welcome to the show. Amazing to have you guys.
Hey, Lizzie Rose, that introduction was bam, man.
Thank you. And I mean every word. I mean every word of it. It was
Mm,
the truth. It was the truth.
mm,
So we already have Chidima. Chidima is excited. We're all excited to see you. You look amazing, by the way. Dr. Amara,
thank you.
beautiful as usual. Dr. Gospel, you look amazing as well. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We are looking forward to everything that will come from you. And
Mm.
so I humbly hand over the stage to you. Thank you.
Amazing.
Okay, we are here together. You're not really handing over the stage because
Okay. Okay. That's
I think when you did your introduction, you're talking about love and marriage. It's something we love to talk about.
mm,
We love to talk about love because obviously one of the reasons people get married is because they're in love.
yeah.
I actually got married to my wife because I really, really loved her and I felt we needed to do life together. And
Yeah.
then the question is, did I have reasons for loving her? Or do I have reasons to love her? Because I always do. Um, Maybe that's something we need to talk about because from our standpoint, y- you don't just love someone for loving. There
Yeah.
has to be maybe basic things that would get you attracted to someone.
mm,
So maybe when we look at the concept of love, we see love from different paradigms. Some people could see love as how you feel about someone. So if we talk about love in that context, you can't just love someone. Maybe it's for some men, it's the physical, looks.
Look, yeah.
They, oh, I saw this lady. She's so beautiful. Oh, I love her.
Yes.
That could be it for that person. And for another person, it could be because someone is intelligent, you like the person's personality and all of those. So there has to be something that endears you to another individual. But when we look at love in the context of agape, which is the commitment level that you need to sustain a strong relationship as for example marriage, then it has to be unconditional. Otherwise, if
Mm.
things are not working the way you expect them to work, you give up. I don't know if you want to add more to that.
Well, I think in this day and age, love has been objectified. I don't know if
Mm,
that's a term. And a lot of times you find people, the love, the way people define love as the butterfly
mm,
in one's
In your
tummy,
belly, yes.
that gooey feeling that you have
Oh,
inside.
mm.
And someone says, oh, I'm melting for this person,
Oh
I'm
my
I'm
goodness.
falling in love for this person.
Yes.
And I think the media has contributed to all of this, how they've sort of put it forward. You find somebody and then the other person, they come together and then they fall in love and then they
Yeah.
lived happily ever after. you
Disney
know
mm,
movies for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it kind of sets the tone because a lot of people just take on all of that, and in their mind, when they come into a marital relationship with somebody else, their expectation is that it's just going to be perfect.
mm,
Yeah.
Everything's just going to be smooth sailing. There's not going to be any issue whatsoever. And when they now get into marriage and the whole reality begins to set in. Now the question is, they begin to say, oh, I think I'm falling out of love with this person. and,
Mm.
and I think that's what gospel is saying. It sort of boils down to their definition of love,
mm,
their mindset about love. And
Mm.
that's what really changes the whole dynamics in a marital relationship.
Oh, okay. So from what you're saying, and I think I can quite relate to that, Dr. Marachi, from what you're saying, because when we watch these movies, these Disney movies that comes with the fairy tale, we grow up watching them. So it's the foundation. So in my mind, right? Let me say the truth. In my mind, there's a Prince Charming somewhere who's going to come and make everything perfect because that's what the movies tell us. So in most situations, we tend to rely on that without actually thinking about the basis of living together and working together as a marriage. So I'm very excited that, I'm here, and I'm definitely going to learn. And for all others who are listening in, they were
Mm.
definitely going to learn today. So it's amazing. But Dr. Gospel, I think I would like to ask you, based on what you
Mhm.
spoke about, the reasons and the marriage. I think, just to be clear, what I'm getting from, or what I got from what you said, was that, you don't necessarily, do you mean that there has to be a reason for you to love a person? Or are you saying that it's best to go with unconditional love?
Well, you've all already said it. I
Yeah.
think what I try to say is that there might be something that
Mm,
gets you closer to someone. But
okay.
when we talk about love in its entirety, when it has to do with agape love, the kind of love that God expressed by giving his son to die for us, the kind of love that is unconditional, the
Yeah.
kind of love that stays with that individual, irrespective of life ups and downs,
Oh,
irrespective of challenges. That kind of love should be unconditional. It
wow.
means that no matter what you do, no matter how you treat me, I
Mm,
would love you. That doesn't mean that because I love you, I'm going to disrespect or put down myself or put myself in harm's way. That's not
yeah.
what I'm saying. But
Mm,
I am saying that love is an expression of um, sacrifice, commitment, being there for the other person, doing your best for the other person, not necessarily because that person qualifies for it. That's the kind of love we need to have, and that love could be expressed to anyone and everyone. It doesn't necessarily has to be the person you're married to. There are
oh,
people I know people I love, but I didn't get married to them. I
wow.
only married one person.
The way Dr. Marchi turned when she just turned really.
Yeah, but that's the truth.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
We love people and we extend love to people. You
Yes.
see, when it has to do with unconditional love. The other thing you have to also look at is the fact that when we look at love, people define love from different facets. For some
Mm,
people, love is not just this unconditional thing you're talking about, it's not just agape. They are
mm.
looking at love from the eros, the romantic side of things, how
Okay.
I feel about you. And you can't feel that for everyone. There has to be one person you have that emotional connection with.
Mm,
Some other people look at love as that compatibility where we can always be like friends. They call it filio. We chat, we talk, even though we don't have any chemistry around us, but we feel so free with each other where we can share things and all of those. But if you look at love from God's eyes, I talk about love in terms of sacrifice.
yeah.
When Jesus was on the cross, he
Mm.
died a painful death. It
Mm,
wasn't pleasurable. That was love.
yeah.
I can stop there for now.
Oh,
Mm.
wow. That's amazing to me, because as for some of us, especially, I'm sure for the people listening, there may be some people who have the thought of what I'm about to ask in mind, because I do understand that, unconditional love comes from God and everything, but I never really thought that for you to be like in a marriage, it has to be that unconditional love. Is that something that is possible for everyone? Giving love, giving sacrifice without expecting anything in return, that kind of special love, that kind of love that comes that you do not deserve. Is that possible for like every human being to express?
It is possible.
Oh, okay.
I say that carefully though. It is possible, but it's down to your willingness to embrace that.
Ah, okay. All right.
Because in a marital relationship, remember, we are not perfect. I'm
Mm.
not perfect. He's not perfect.
You look perfect.
There's no single human being out there that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes.
But when we embrace the fact that we are not perfect,
Mm.
he's not perfect. However, I am willing to work on this. I think the challenges around sacrificial love in marriage
Yeah.
is down to the expectations that people come into marriage with.
Mm.
If you have a mindset, I'm coming into marriage, I'm getting married to somebody, he's gonna do this for me, he's gonna do that for me. The husband has his expectation of marrying a wife, hence all of these chores from for people who are quite, from an African, all of the chores that I'm doing, I've got a woman who's gonna come in and take over. So everything is me centered. So husband has got a me-centered, expectation. The wife has got a me-centered expectation. And what happens is that when you come into a relationship and you find that the other person is not pulling their weight, this is where the imbalance comes in, because you're expecting, I have to give as much as you give me.
Mm.
But it is a challenging situation, and it only takes a walk. It only takes you embracing that I can give my 100% without expecting
100%,
100%.
which is very difficult.
And it's very challenging.
Mm.
That's the unconditional love, isn't it?
It is so challenging. It is so challenging. And this is where love goes beyond
Yes.
what you get.
Yeah.
It's a commitment to stick with the person I'm with, to journey of life, regardless.
Mm.
And it is very challenging, I would say. But it all begins with us having a change in our mindset.
Yeah, I want to add to that question because she
Yeah.
said, is it possible for everyone? It's not. I think everyone can do it, but it's not possible for everyone. The reason is that the
Mm.
belief system is different.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, you can't give what you don't have.
Okay.
As long as agape love is concerned, there's a source to it,
Mm.
and you can't give it if if you're not plugged in to that source. I talk about Bible because I believe in the Bible. I believe God's word. The Bible says God is love. He
Yes.
that does not love does not know God.
Yes.
So that kind of love comes from God. And if you're not plugged in into the source of love, it becomes very difficult for you to give it. The Bible said the love of God is spread abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
If you
Yes.
use your human muscle, human power, will power, and all of those, it's going to fail you because naturally we are selfish. So you want someone to do something for you to reciprocate your love. You don't expect me to be so nice to you and you're rewarding me with negativity. That becomes challenging. But then if I look at it from the context that I am a messenger of God who has been given the opportunity to show you love, to express love to you. I am a carrier of love. And I've been assigned to love you as if God has given me, God is using me to show you love. Then I have to do it not unto you, but unto God.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says, working for the Lord and not for men. So when I please God in how I express love to you, my reward is not coming from you, it's coming from God. And I also want every man, every woman to have this mindset. If you're doing marriage, remember, marriage is a calling.
Mm.
So if you're doing marriage and you're doing your best to give your best in that marriage, your spouse is not going to reward you. You're accountable to God. The Bible says in Romans chapter 14, verse 12, each one of us shall give account of himself, not your spouse, to God. So that's my mindset. Just to summarize, yes, everyone should give love unconditionally, but some people don't have the capacity to love. They really, really want to love, but they can't because they are not plugged in to the source of love.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's very profound. That's very profound. Thank you so much, both of you, for your amazing answers. And I think that saying that you have to be connected to God, that's why you don't have to be unequally yoked. I think that's the aspect of it. So if you are, you are two believers, then it's believed that you're connected to God, and it's easier for you to express that unconditional love through the help of the Holy Spirit. That is amazing. I've actually learned quite a lot in these few minutes. All right, that's amazing. Yeah, that's really, really great. Okay, I think I've had a bit of an understanding for that. And our viewers, how are you doing? I hope you're learning. If you just want to say anything in the chat, it's very welcomed as well. We're having the conversations with you. So if you want to, type something in there as we go, we are very conscious of you. We are not doing this without you. All right, so let me just ask the wonderful couple a question. Now I understand that, just like it says on the flyer, we are loving without a reason, but then it says we have to marry for a reason. Can you just throw more light, a little bit more light on that for us, please?
Do I start or you start?
Well, do you want to start? You can start.
Okay, I can
Yes.
start.
Yes.
Okay.
To be frank with you,
Mm,
over the years, I've always thought that you just marry someone because you love the person.
mm,
Like you said earlier, we've been given that picture that, oh, I'm so in love with this person. I
yes.
just want to spend the rest of my life with this person because I feel so much love for him or her. And that mindset makes you to think that once you're in love with someone, once
Mm,
there is that chemistry, once there is that emotional connection, like
yes.
you feel without this person, my life wouldn't have any meaning anymore.
Oh my goodness.
What that does is you come into marriage not looking at the reasons for getting married to that person. Now I understand,
You're
but
blinded.
yes, even if you can see things that would show you obviously that this thing is not going to work, you feel we are in love, therefore we have to get married.
Yeah.
Now, I read the Bible.
Mm,
I realized that Adam and Eve did
yes.
not get married without a reason.
Mm.
The Bible says God said, I
Mm,
will make a helpmeet
Suitable
suitable
for you.
for him. That means there is a reason Eve was supposed to be the
Adam's life.
Adam's wife or in his life.
mm,
And then Adam had an assignment. Remember the Bible says he looked at the animals.
Mm.
He couldn't find a compatible mate, someone who would fulfill purpose with him
mm,
until Eve came.
And you saw him, saw her says,
This is now the bone of
of
my
my bone,
bone and the
flesh
flesh of my
she
flesh.
shall be.
Wow.
Woman.
powerful.
Womb man.
Yeah.
So now for me, what
Yeah.
that means is I can't just get married to anyone.
Mm.
There has to be a reason. What are you offering
Mm.
Oh
to
wow.
my assignment? What
Oh.
value are you bringing?
Mm,
It's not enough to feel this fantastic emotion for you. We
mm.
can feel it at the end of the day, moves up and down. But when the chips are down,
Yeah.
what are you bringing to the table? Marriage is not just
Mm.
two people living together. It is a calling, is an assignment, and everyone has something to offer
Mm.
to making sure that that assignment is fulfilled. There is a purpose to it.
Yeah.
God doesn't bring two people together just for them to engage in physical activities, smooshing, and all of those. He brought them together for something very, very critical,
Mm.
destiny.
Mm,
So Amos 3:3 says, can two work together
mm.
except they agree? That agreement is about vision.
Yeah.
Do you want to add to that?
No, go.
Okay, it's about
Vision.
vision,
Yeah.
it's about purpose. Anytime a man and a woman are married and they don't understand where they are going, you see frustration.
Yeah.
Either the woman came into the life of the man with so much value to offer,
Mm,
and she realizes that this young man, this whoever he is, doesn't have a direction. And you
mm.
see a woman trying to lead him, which also creates
A problem.
dysfunctional relationship because the man is wired to lead. So when you're not leading and the woman is leading you, there's a mismatch.
Yeah.
You see, so marry for a reason, and that reason should not be superficial. It's not because this guy is handsome. It's not because this guy is rich. It's not
Oh,
because this guy is, from this place or that place. He
yeah.
looks like what you expect. No.
He's slim, tall, and
And so,
handsome.
yes.
but
Slim, tall.
but it's also good to marry someone.
It's good. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think one of the, just to sort of
No, go
add to
ahead.
what gospel is saying here, our life purpose can be enhanced,
Mm,
can be accelerated by the person we partner up with for
mm.
life.
Okay.
A lot of people's purpose have been truncated because of the person they have aligned themselves with.
Mm,
Because when you're talking about marriage, marriage speaks of alignment. It says the two shall come together and they shall be one flesh. It
Powerful.
speaks to alignment. It doesn't mean that we would think the same, or we are different, right? In terms of personality and all of that. But if you come into marriage understanding that there is a vision beyond our gooey feeling and all the butterflies and all of those sort of things, beyond that, there is a primary reason, there's a primary assignment for which God has brought us together.
Mm.
Now, I'll also say this carefully because a lot of times when couples go through challenges and arguments, which of course would happen in any relationship, one of the things that would help you to stay focused is understanding your why. Why are we together? Because if you understand that the reason why you're together is bigger than the argument, so we don't fall out of marriage or we don't break the union because we
There's a
have a disagreement with maybe something quite temporal.
yeah.
If we understand that this is a calling,
Mm.
and that is why for a lot of single people out there, you really need to be very careful about who you partner up with in life. I
Mm.
remember my dad will always say to me that after your salvation,
Mm.
the most important decision you will ever make in life is who you get married to. Because this can make or mar you.
Yes.
I remember those days when gospel, came to me, was like from friendship, was like I
Tell
was
us, tell us. I'm very interested.
I was like a choir member and he
Yes.
was my choir director and
Yes.
it was one thing, coming to see my
What's the one thing, one thing?
one thing, going to see a
Yes.
sister,
What's the one thing, one thing?
wait
Oh, you
now, calm
joined the
down. This is my story. It's my
choir.
story. Let me tell my story. Let
It's
me
your,
tell my own part of the
it's your
story.
truth.
Yeah,
Jesus.
well, that's another debate. Anyways, so he was coming down to the dormitory at that time on
Yeah.
campus, and he was always come to
Call
see
it hostel.
the hostel. Yes, the
Yeah.
hostel. And he was
Yeah.
always coming to pay visit to this sister in fellowship, right?
Mm. Yes.
And I remember when as things progressed, right? And he sort of like told me he was going to get married, or he was asking. Yes, he was asking nicely.
Oh,
I will go into the detail in a different, live video.
I
One
cannot.
of the questions, I want to get to the point, right? One of the questions I asked him is like, guy, could you tell me your direction of travel? Like, I didn't ask it like this, but basically, I needed to like sell me your vision.
Mm.
Where are you going?
Mm.
Because if I'm coming to be your helpmate, I need to know if I'm relevant. If my own vision is, if I plug in my vision to your
Yes.
vision,
Align.
will I be relevant or will I not? Will I just disappear?
Mm.
Because the thing is, a lot of times we get carried away in courtship by the whole feeling. So a lot of conversations we're having are very superficial. We
Mm.
don't really delve into the deep things like what exactly, where are you traveling? Because everyone can be traveling, on the highway, but they always have different junctions where they branch out. I need to know, where are you branching out? If that's not my junction, then I'm not going to get married to you.
Mm.
The Bible talks about you need to make sure that you're not unequally yoked together
Mm.
with unbelievers. But I also say to a lot of my single people out there that yes, the Bible says you should not be unequally yoked, but you cannot marry every believer.
Mm.
So you need
Powerful.
to understand where is he going. First of all, I can't even know if I'm relevant on his journey if I don't even understand my purpose. Right? So first of all, it begins with me, right? Somebody is saying something very cheeky on the chat. Someone is saying that he was coming to hostel C. Yes, this person knows me well.
They're
This person knows me
aware.
well. This person knows me well. Yes. So,
Yeah.
and it's really important that you understand, what's your own purpose in life and what's God calling you to do. Because this is why a lot of people are married and they're so frustrated.
Mm.
And I say marriage can be so beautiful.
Wow.
The marriage is supposed to amplify.
Mm.
Think about what the devil, He fights marriages. The Bible talks about one chasing 1,000. So on my own, I can only chase 1,000. On his own, he can only chase 1,000. But together,
Per
we
level.
can chase 10,000. We can
Wait,
put 10,000 to flights.
that
Yeah,
is
it's called the
amazing.
law of synergy, where
Yes.
your individual effort can only produce additional, but when you combine it, it's
My God.
exponential. Yeah.
Exponential. Yeah,
Excuse
exponential
me,
result.
2 minutes. I'm about to go and get married. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, please carry on, Dr. Amara. It's amazing.
So what I'm trying to say here is that
Yeah,
you have to know why you getting married,
yeah,
Hmm.
because it's not every brother or every sister, that anyone can get married to, or any believer. Bear in mind that there are lots of believers in church that are in sheep clothing, like
oh,
people that are supposed to be believers, but
Hmm.
they are not believers. So
mm,
you really need to understand where is the direction of this person,
Hmm.
or else you get married. And I see lots of ladies that are really sulking in marriage because they feel that just getting married has, sort of put a cap on them. They're not
Hmm.
able to live out their full
Potential.
potential.
Hmm.
And I say I am so blessed that I God helped me make a good decision, because
oh,
sometimes marriage is one thing that, when you're making those decisions, you're like, you're trusting God that
yeah,
you're making, because you don't know really, it's a walk of faith.
yes,
It's a risk.
mhm,
And I'm so blessed that I, made God helped me made the right decision, and I got
yeah,
married to gospel.
Hmm.
yeah.
I'm so happy for that.
I'm
I'm so happy for that.
smiling the whole time. I'm
But
blushing.
but you know the thing, I was talking to a group of young people today. I said to them that my wife got married to me
Mm,
not because of wealth, because I was trying to cancel them. I said to them,
mm,
the reason for spending your life or accepting to get married to someone should not be reasons like he's rich,
yeah,
reasons like his family background, and all of those. They were like, how? I said, some women don't even want to get married to someone who is rich because they want to partner with that individual and build life with the person. They
mm,
want to make meaningful contribution to the person's life. But I've realized that young people today are very shallow in their thinking when it has to do with
Some young
what
people, not all young
some,
people.
yeah, I said some young people,
mm,
in terms of what they look forward to or their expectation from someone they would get married to. For instance, some people are telling you physical attributes. Some people are more focused on is he a trendy guy? Does he know what's up? How rich is
yeah,
he? If he doesn't have this kind of car, if
yeah.
he's not this or that, I'm not
What's
gonna.
his vibe? What's his
Those
vibe?
things, those things, those things are very flimsy because they
Mm,
can come, they can go.
yeah,
When I got married to her, even
yeah,
when I told her I was going to get married to her, I didn't have any beautiful thing to look forward to. But
yeah.
I knew one
Mm,
thing that was very profound for me is that I knew that God has called me for something, and I was very clear about my purpose.
okay.
So you can have all the stuff, but if you don't know where you're going in life, not just for the guy, even for the woman, anyone can sell you a wrong
Mm.
business, a wrong relationship, and you get into it. By the time you now realize that, oh, the money I made a decision because of, I can
Yeah.
actually make more. I was even saying to them that even women these days make more than the men. So
Mm,
you can't limit yourself by looking at secondary reason for getting married to someone. There has to be something bigger,
A
and
core.
that thing has to be bigger than the two of you.
Yeah.
You are talking about compatibility. You also have to look at spiritual compatibility. You
oh,
have to look at values. You have to look at do you guys work together? Do you see things from the same perspective? You know, I was making an analogy. I said a tortoise should not marry a giraffe
mm.
because a giraffe will see things from a higher horizon.
Oh,
A
that makes
tortoise will only see from very
sense.
low level.
Hmm.
That makes
the
a lot of
truth is, no matter how a giraffe tries to explain to a tortoise what
Mhm.
it is seeing, there will never be compatibility. They will not understand it. So
But you would not always have the same perspective,
Okay.
because you need to also, when they talk about opposite attracts,
mhm,
Yeah.
right? So you would not always imagine if there are two giraffes in a
Mm.
marriage, or there are two tortoises in a marriage.
mhm.
That also is a challenge. But I think it's about, if you are the giraffe or the tortoise, as we're using an analogy, it's to recognize what your strengths are,
Mm.
and also understanding what your potential weaknesses or gaps,
Yes.
and appreciating
Mm.
that those gaps could be filled in
Mm.
by the other person.
Mm.
It's about harmonizing.
Your strength and your weakness.
Yes, it's about, because I believe, if you've got two people like sort of like on the same sort of heading in the same direction, that also could be challenging. So being having opposing views is not a bad thing,
Yeah.
Yes.
but it is
But
recognizing that, and being open minded, that okay, these are my strengths,
mm,
and I'm limited on this, and accepting those, first of all, being self aware,
mm.
and then what could I do to improve on these things? How can I advance? How can I build? How can I grow from this? And I think that's really important.
If you let me share my point of view, I was looking at it from the point of values. I was looking at it from the point of core elements of what makes elements of what make a relationship work. For
Mm,
instance, if I believe certain things within the paradigm of my faith, and you're looking at it from a different standpoint, we can never see eye to
okay.
eye. So compatibility in that sense is very
I
critical.
see.
Mm.
Even in communication,
Mm,
there are people, they can't get it. They don't get it. You are not at the same frequency.
mm,
It doesn't mean the differences, if they are in the area that are flexible where you can grow and develop, those ones are basic because no two persons can be the same.
Mm.
But when it has to do with core areas,
mm.
character issues, you don't have to neglect them. Anyway,
Well, maybe just to sort of shed more light, and let's just be a bit more practical
mhm,
about, and I could give some examples. You know, Courtship is a time when you really get to know the values of the other person.
mm,
And there are a lot of things that have become quite massive and problematic in marriage,
Mm.
because the individuals did not take time to really assess where they are at and how they can grow from them. Now, number one cause of issues in marriage is money.
mm,
Now, every single human being on this world, in this world, have got their relationship with money. They have
Yes.
a mindset and a psychology on how they deal with money.
Very true.
If you need to partner up with somebody for life, you need to understand what's their psychology like.
and it has to
Mm.
do with money.
Yeah, what's their relationship with money like? Because some people cannot part with their money.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
true.
now you need to first of all understand, is this something I can deal with? Does
Yes.
this work or does it
Yes.
not work? There's
Mm.
some people that believe that money is, you only live once, right? YOLO. You just
Right.
spend
Get and
it,
spend.
get and spend. Now,
Yes.
is that the kind of person you want to be partnered up with? A
Mm.
spending or a spendthrift, or what they call. So you need to really be sure, where do we have a misalignment in terms of our values, and is this something that is acceptable or not acceptable? Have this person got any issues as it has to do with addiction,
Yeah.
for instance? Are there some addictions?
Mm.
Um, how far, how deep is it?
Mm.
Mm.
And how can I deal with that? Because these are things that come very clear and very open in marriage. And some people are just not clued in, because in the courtship, it's just about the superficial, it's about the looks, it's about the money, it's about the houses, it's about the job, it's about the kind of friends he's got, it's about, which is okay, it's a nice to have. but is you need to look at the fundamentals of
Mm.
the relationship, because these things can make or break the
Yeah.
relationship.
Mm. Oh, this has been very enlightening. I just want to keep listening and listening and listening because it's been amazing. I know you were talking about how you should learn to, communicate. And if you are on different frequencies, it may be a bit of a problem. And I could clearly see how, you listened to Dr. Gospel when he wanted to say what he wanted to say and he finished it. So I can see like there's the clear communication and alignment. I like it. I'm excited about it. Okay. I'm sure that those who are viewing can see as well because we're learning from your interaction and everything. But I think I'm going to ask you guys a question now, okay, that pertains to each person. So I can see, and the rest of the world can see that you are aligned in what you're doing. You've been doing this relationship builders forum for quite a while now. You've impacted a lot of different lives and people have benefited from it. People have been blessed from it. So I can see that your purpose is aligned, right? But then I would like to ask you, Dr. Gospel, before I go to Dr. Amara, how did you know that? Even though you said, you knew that there was a purpose for you, you knew what you were going to do. How did you know that this one is the best helpmate for your purpose?
Well, is a question I can take hours to answer
My
because
goodness.
there are different but we don't have hours.
Yes.
So I'll make it brief.
Okay.
Some people say before you get married, you
Yes.
have to pray, you have to see vision, you have to hear a voice.
Yes.
Um, I don't really think I had a voice. I didn't hear a voice.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe that's not how God speaks to you.
okay,
Because
she's
some
saying
some people
that's
can
not
hear
how
a
God
voice.
speaks to me.
Yeah.
Good.
But for me,
Mm.
Yeah.
one thing that was very striking to me is I saw a woman who who is, I'm not saying was, who is very um natural in her outlook, very industrious, very talented,
Oh.
gifted,
Oh.
someone who had a passion for touching lives,
Oh.
um,
Mm.
who was, yeah, wherever where someone comes in and she lights up the
Oh.
environment and all of those.
Amazing.
So for me, it was more of having that connection to know that we will have something together. I will tell you, the
Yeah.
first day I saw her as a person
Yes.
and I had a conversation with her,
Yes.
something in me said you would have something to do with this person.
Oh.
But it wasn't to do with her in terms of marriage at that point. But
Yeah.
I knew. But as we progressed, I
Yeah.
saw that there was an alignment in values, alignment in
Oh, yeah.
principles, in how we see faith, morality, and all of those. There was an alignment, and she was someone I knew that could challenge me to
Yes.
be the best
Oh,
version of me.
that's
And
powerful.
let me give you a secret. Maybe other people here. The first bank account I opened,
Yeah.
he was the one that asked me, "Do you have an account?" I said, "No, I don't have an account," because I thought I needed to have so much money to open an account. He said,
Yes.
"How can you not have an account?"
That is amazing. So she started the helping right from
And
the start.
honestly, and you know what? She
Yes.
gave me a target. She said, by the next time we meet, you must have an account.
Oh, that is amazing.
Surprisingly, I went to the bank. I said, I want to open an account. How much do I need to open an account? They said to me, you don't need any money to open an account. Just fill the form and open an account. So
Yes.
you can see that from day one,
Mm.
she kept pushing me,
Yeah.
and I also found out, I have to
Mm.
be practical, that I have love for her, such
Oh.
that what she would do to me, another person could do it and I won't take it.
It's something else. Okay.
And if she does it, I would just say, you know what? I know you've hurt me, but let's just be good. Let's just be,
That's amazing.
So once you understand that you have what it takes,
Yes.
you have the capacity to love this person, and it's in you to accept this person the way the person is and have that propensity for unconditional love,
Yes.
then you're good to go. That's it for me. I don't want to go into the spiritual angle to it,
Mm.
whether I prayed and God says something or not, because if I do, some people will take it, okay, because he said this, that
Yeah.
is how it should work. But for me, I knew I had reasons to leave the relationship, but
Mhm.
I had encounters,
Oh,
divine encounters that said, this person is
is
a blessing to you.
that is
You
powerful.
can't let go of it.
That
I
is
hope I answered your question.
You did answer over and over again. I wrote some things down low key. I was just looking up, but I was writing some things down real quickly because you centered on the alignment in the values, and we could see that she was already a helpmate from the beginning and building you up, and that was really powerful. So, Dr. Mara, I would just ask you now. You don't necessarily have to, go into details. You can just share. Let's just not make it personal anymore. So, if I am to, what kind of things do I have to consider? Or what kinds of things should I pay attention to know if this man that is talking to me, our purpose actually aligns, so I can make a decision?
Well, if I'm to summarize it in
Yes.
one word, I would say vision.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What is his vision?
Mm,
Where is he going? What
mm,
am I coming to help him do? It's really important
it is.
because a lot of frustration in relationships post marriage or
Mm,
wedding, post wedding, not marriage, because marriage is what happens after the wedding, is
yes.
down to a lack of alignment in vision.
Mm,
This person wants to do something else, the other person wants to do the other thing, and it's just constant, like that, constant. So it's really important that you understand the direction of travel of
yeah.
the person that you're in a relationship with. It's also really important that you do an audit. When I talk about an audit, is finding out their values fundamentally, what's their relationship with God outside of activity. Relationship with God is not church activity. It's
Mm,
really important because a lot of people get busy, but they don't have a one-to-one relationship with God. And I think that this is really important because if you marry someone who doesn't have a relationship with God and doesn't listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit,
yes.
it's frustrating. They would bear a grudge. They are very unforgiving. There are
Mm,
things that, okay, I'll give an example. Personally, I'll feel so bad. Gospel really hurt me. I'm very upset about this. Just thinking about it and praying about it, right?
yes.
It's like, okay, he's hurt me, but can we move past it? Now, it's not an apology that did that. It's just because I fear God,
Yes.
right? Personally, I personally fear God.
Yeah.
And in my marriage, I must be the Jesus that my spouse would see.
Mm, powerful.
Because there'll always be issues, right? But
Mm,
it's about forgiving and advance forgiveness because they will hurt you, they would apologize, they might hurt you again. Because beyond how we feel, it's not about how we feel, it's about the vision. Why are we together? Whatever the feelings is just to shake that alignment up, is to
yes.
shift our core,
Mm,
is to distract us. And if we understand that a couple that is united, there is nothing impossible for them. But the
mm,
question is, don't partner up with the wrong person. You need to be sure where they're going and how you can amplify their life.
powerful. Yeah. Powerful. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I've written some of it, and I'm going to the next person I'm speaking to is going to be in is going to go through a lot of scrutiny. Where are you going with your life, sir? Is there a vision? Okay, that is
Not
amazing.
not like that though, because they don't feel like they are in like am I in an interview or what's going on here?
Of course, I'll
That
try
can
my
scare a
best.
man
You
who
have to be
doesn't.
very tactical.
It can scare a man who is not sure of himself or his
All
vision.
right, then. Yes, we'll do our best to be very friendly about it. Okay, thank you so much. I've actually learned so much because of time. I think I have just one question, just for clarity's sake. And I'm still trying to give a shout out to the people in the chat as well, the people who are engaged, who are locked in. Thank you so much for staying on. I believe that you are learning as much as I am learning from this. It's quite important. I've learned so much. Now, the only question I want to ask is, I understand that we work with a lot of, we have to work with unconditional love, and we have to marry for a reason, right? So now the reason I'm asking, if there's a particular couple that actually have seen these core values aligned, they've actually have seen the vision aligned, they've seen that, okay, the woman has seen that I can actually, this man has a vision, or this person has a vision that I can actually help with, and the man has seen that this woman can actually be my helpmate. So they have this strong alignment. What if they don't have any sort of that gooey love feeling for each other? Can the marriage still work in this situation?
Maybe Dr. Amara can answer that.
Are you
Oh,
saying people who are already married?
No, no, no. She's saying they've
who?
looked at it from all angles. They know that they are
Mm.
compatible, but the emotional side of things
No
is not
butterflies.
there. It's
Yeah.
not there. There's no spark. There's no chemistry.
Yeah. Yes. Do
Yes,
they
I
go ahead with the marriage? Those kind of.
I think women are more into the chemistry thing. So let her start the conversation.
Okay.
Okay, let me try. Maybe she can help out
All
if
right.
I get stuck. But I
Okay.
think it's tricky. It's tricky because you could say yes, they can go ahead and get married. With time, the chemistry is going to happen,
Mm,
which is the case back in the days.
Yeah.
Because remember, back in the days, there used to be arranged marriage.
Mm.
People who never knew themselves, they didn't cut nothing. They just they are introduced one family to another family. Once they start, obviously the chemistry comes in. But because of the way we've been conditioned,
Yeah.
especially in our modern day society, it's tricky to say people should get into marriage that way. What I would say is, if those two people are focused on the primary thing and give it some time,
mm,
remember, emotional connection is a function of deep level communication, is a product of intimacy,
mm.
which TDJX defines it as into me you see. If that person is
Hey,
able to
oh,
see into you, there will be chemistry. Let me give you an instance. Do you
yes.
notice that some people can be chatting with
Mm.
an image on
Mm.
social media, and that image is not even a human being, but they think is a guy may be chatting with a
Oh,
picture of a woman. In
yeah,
his mind, he thinks it's a woman.
yes,
And when they keep talking
And it
about
might be another guy.
it could be another guy using the image of a woman,
Yeah.
and
yes,
they'll be chatting about deep things. All
yes,
of a sudden,
He falls in love.
the
yeah,
chemistry is there.
Yeah.
They fall in love. And
yes,
when he now realizes that, oh, I've been fooled,
yes, catfish.
he
Yes.
will now be so upset.
Mm.
He's been catfished here.
The love will just fly away. So, if those two people are ready to explore vulnerable level of communication where you share your heart, you bear your heart with each other, over time the emotion will come.
Oh
But
my
if
God.
they try it and there is a blocker, because there could be a blocker,
Mm.
maybe the person's mindset about physical attraction,
Yeah.
you look at her, everything is right, but you don't see that attraction because of your mindset. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
If you take it into marriage, that blocker will create a problem in the marriage. Not necessarily because it can't happen, but because you have blocked your mind from seeing the potential of having that emotional connection with the person. I don't know if you want to add
Yeah.
to
I
that.
I think that's why people need to reassess their view. You don't
Mm.
objectify. No.
Objectivize, yeah.
Ah, yes,
Love. You
yes.
don't do that, because if you have a certain perception, and this is why a lot of men go into relationship and they are looking for something. Now
Mm.
when they go in and that person is not that, they step out of the marriage because there's an image that they have.
Oh.
Um, it's really important. If you have to be invested.
Mm.
If you're not invested in getting to know somebody beyond the looks,
Yeah.
don't forget that that look that you see will not always be there. Like 10 years, 20 years,
You're right.
that will not always be there. It's not about the physical. You need to fall in love here.
Mm.
It's really important. You need to fall in love with the core of that person. And you can't if it's all superficial.
Yeah.
And love is beyond that. Love is deeper than that. Is my commitment to stick with gospel even when it's grayed out.
Mm.
Because yes, indeed, he's a good looking man. But
Mm.
beyond that, it's who he is
On the
that
core.
is the core. Yeah.
Mm.
So I think it's about focusing on the core, really, because some things will fade.
You're right. I also want to add that even when that emotional connection and the spark is there at the onset,
Yeah.
it's not going to, or outset, it's not going to be there forever. So there are times when you feel like your spouse is like your brother or your sister. It's true.
Hmm.
But it doesn't mean you can also rekindle the spark. So
Okay.
when you go back to the things that create that spark, the
Wow.
kind of intimate conversations you have and the little things you do for each other, knowing one's love language and speaking it and all of those, you feel the emotional tank of the other person. The spark comes back. You create the ambient for that spark, but it's not going to be consistent. And I also want to say this to anyone who is single and you're thinking of getting married, don't be fixated on the emotional side of things. Marriage is beyond what you feel. There are key things in marriage, there are critical issues in marriage. It's not about feeling. Even when you don't feel anything, you're married for a greater good, a greater purpose. And at the end of the day, what you're going to leave behind is the mark your marriage has made in the life of people, in the assignment that God has given you to do,
Legacy.
the legacy you've left. It could be touching lives, it could be whatever it is that is the vision for your marriage. That's the most important thing. It's not the gooey feeling and the, all of those kind of, they are beautiful,
Yeah.
but let's look at the primary thing. That's why we say that marry for a reason, and that reason has to be critical and authentic.
I think
Yeah.
it's also a privilege that God decides to entrust you with someone that you can love.
Mm,
It's a privilege. So when God is choosing me to love gospel through me,
mm,
it's a privilege. And in marriage is about being yielded to each other.
Mm.
Um and not keeping records of wrongs, because wrongs would happen in different forms and in different shape. It's that it's not fickle. Marriage is not fickle. And I think this is where the devil is really attacking marriages. Everyone out there in a society is a product of a family, whether you call it dysfunctional family or a working family.
True.
And the source is a marriage.
mm,
Imagine that was the first institution that God created. So
Yeah.
sacred, not even the financial. Think about even the financial institution and all these other big organization.
Yeah.
People who run them are a product of the
Marriage.
marital institution. It's
True.
so powerful. It's so sacred.
It
So
is.
if God can trust me with a human being and says, just show love, pour love to this person, is it too much to ask? Just for the first time in your life, set aside your feeling, set aside your hurt, set aside what you want,
Yeah.
and just love this person. And I
Mm.
haven't seen someone that has been loved so much and that person doesn't give love back.
mm,
Hmm. Powerful.
It's rare. It's rare
Yeah.
to find someone who is not, you just love on somebody so much that that person, are you trying to say they won't love back? Without any motive. I think
Mm.
a lot of times we always have a reason.
mm,
There's always something. There's a reason why I'm loving this person, because if I love this person, is going to do this. If I, you know.
Yeah.
So beyond that, it's a calling. Marriage is a calling, but a lot of people don't see it that way.
yeah.
Oh, this has been so powerful. Because of time, I don't think we have any more time. We're actually running out of time right now. So, but it's been amazing. I think I've learned so much. If we're loving without a reason, I believe that if you were with a reason, when the reason is taken away, it becomes a problem. Now you can't love anymore. So I do agree. I believe that the unconditional love should be the way that we would go. And then having the purpose in marriage, aligning with the purpose, it would be an amazing thing. And the fact that you said that you have described marriage as a thing that enhances the life of another person. Dr. Mara, when you were talking, you're talking about how, God has trusted you with another human being. So it becomes a ministry that you're doing with God, something you're doing. So it's not just, a normal relationship that you just have with a person. So it's something, so God is on your mind every time. I believe that Dr. Gospel spoke about that earlier when he says he's loving because he's serving God. It's something he's doing for God. So I believe that if we actually do put all of those things together, then marriage will be actually very sweet. Like you guys said earlier, you said marriage is sweet. So right now, I'm just going to, right after this meeting, right after this meeting, I'm going to get into marriage. I'll let you guys know. Of course, you're going to get invitation cards for sure. I'll let
Looking
you
forward to
know
it.
about it. Yes, for sure. But it's been an amazing time. Thank you so much to everyone who has stuck with us up until this time. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Those who have been typing in the chats, thank you. And a very big thank you, of course, to our wonderful couple who have blessed us here today with their presence, with their knowledge, counseling, everything. I really do appreciate it. But before we go, do you want to say anything or should I just proceed to close us out?
Well, the only thing I will say is if you're married now, if you're married and you're on the chat or you're listening to us, please take your marriage to the next level. There has to be improvement, quality improvement. You have to improve the level of your marriage. This is not the best there is. There could be more. You could do more. You can become more and you can do more in your marriage. Be the channel of love and the channel of blessing to that singular person God has brought into your life. If you're single and you're looking forward to getting married, please don't be distracted by the negative vibes around
Yeah.
when it has to do with marriage. Marriage is beautiful and enjoyable, and we are living evidence that you can actually enjoy your marriage if you do it right. If you're right and you do it right, you will definitely enjoy your marriage. It's possible. That's all I have to say. So go into it with expectation, and I'm very confident you would really, really enjoy your marriage. You
Yeah.
want to say anything?
You've actually, because I was going to address the single, but now you've addressed both sides. I would say, just to sort of wrap up with what we're saying, love without a reason.
Mm,
Love. God says He's commanded His love towards us, in that while we're yet sinners, Christ died for us, and He's shed His blood in our hearts by the Holy Ghost. So we're giving out love. But please, when it comes to marriage, please marry for a reason.
mm,
And let that reason not be money. Let that reason not be stuff. Let that reason be a vision.
mm.
Let that reason be a purpose. So,
Compatibility.
yeah, it has to be. And I just say this is amazing. We love to talk about love because love is beautiful. And marriage is beautiful. What makes marriage not work are the people in it, not marriage itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also want to say thank you very much, Lizzie Rose, for
yeah,
doing this. We appreciate you anytime you're on board with us. I hope we'll do more of this. I
Yeah.
also want to tell everyone that we have different events coming up and we'll be keeping you posted. We'll
Okay.
have to do this more and more often.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And to all our viewers, we also want to say thank you for chiming in. We don't take this for granted. You can have something to say, but if you have nobody listening in, at
Mhm.
what point is it? So thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys, coming and listening into what we have to say. And please, we are open to feedbacks. If there's things that you really want to share with us, you want to tell us on how we could sort of take this forward, amazing. We would love to hear from you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm always happy to be here. Looking forward to the future because I'm always learning. So for our viewers, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do well to subscribe. Do well to watch the other videos that are available. Like the videos. Follow on all social media platforms. So there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Facebook. follow, subscribe, like. We're always happy to have you. So thank you so much for coming today. Unfortunately, we're coming to an end, but everything has to come to an end. There's a time and season for everything in the Bible. So we're coming to an end. Please look forward to the events that are going to follow. It will be communicated to you, and then look forward to more videos and more videos. And we'll see you guys the next time. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys. Thank you for
Bye.
stopping.